Okay, good morning class. So at this point we're looking at volume and surface area. You guys have written a test in this period as well. Morning. Right, so how far did we get? Your homework was exercise 16.2. We're done with this page, so it can be deleted. Right, so exercise 16.2 is on page 367. Okay, this is calculate the missing values in the table, correct to one decimal place, or in terms of pi where pi is applicable. Okay, so normally we work to both. We write down the pi solution and we write to the decimal. So there are also two decimal places here, one decimal place. Right, so this is a right circular cylinder. Okay. So the question says the dimensions in units is going to be, so what we need to calculate is the volume and the surface area, that's all. So the height is 5 meters and the radius of 3 meters. So how do we calculate volume? Volume is equal to area of base times height. That's all. So how do you calculate the area of a circle? Pi squared times the depth of the object. So it's going to be pi, the radius is 3 squared, which is 9, times the height of 5. So it's 45 pi. Okay? Or in decimal, 45 pi is 141,37 meters cubed. Then for the surface area is going to be perimeter of base times height plus twice area of base. So the perimeter of the circle, how do you calculate the perimeter of the circle? 2 pi r times the height, which then gives you what you're calculating at this point is the body of that cylinder, plus twice area of base, so it's going to be 2 pi squared. So it will be 2 pi, your radius is 3, times your height, which is 5, plus 2 pi, your radius is 3 squared. That's going to give you 10 is 30 pi, plus 9, 18 pi, which is 48 pi. Or 48 pi gives us 150,8 meters squared. Any confusion there? Is correct? Look at number 2. Number 2, you have a right cylinder. The radius is what we need to calculate, whilst the height is 4. Thereafter we must calculate the volume, and the surface area is given as 24 pi. So, as you can see here, the total surface area is given. We couldn't have used volume because why? There are two unknowns there, which is your height and the volume. Can you see that? So I'm going to use the surface area. So we know that the surface area is going to be perimeter of base times height, so it's 2 pi radius times depth plus 2 pi r squared. Okay, which is twice area of base. So the surface area is 24 pi, is equal to 2 pi times the radius is what we're calculating. So r times your height, which is 4, plus 2 pi radius squared. This is going to be r squared. Okay. So as you can see here, 2 pi is a common factor. Can you all see that? So if you divide throughout by 2 pi. Once doing that, I get r squared. If I divide that by 2 pi, I get 4r. If I divide that by 2 pi, I only get 12. Take it over, becomes minus 12. So what we notice here, we got the trinomial now. That's all. So we have r in r, 6 and 2, plus 6 minus 2. So r is equal to minus 6, so r is equal to 2. Can r be minus 6? Can we have a negative radius? No, it's the length. So it's not that. So therefore r is equal to 2 centimeters. Okay? You now want the volume. So we have to calculate the volume. So volume is equal to area of base times height, which is pi r squared times h. It's going to be pi, my radius is 2 squared, which is 4, times the height, which is 4. So 16 pi, which is 50,3 centimeters. Okay. Let's see. So in our last lesson we discussed this this formula. We are given the radius of 5, a height of 8, but the slanted height is not given. So let's call slanted height S for now. So as you can see, this is formed in a right angle triangle. So how are we going to calculate S? By using Pythagoras. Let's make that S. So your Pythagoras is going to be S squared is equal to 5 squared plus 8 squared, which is 25 plus 64. 25 plus 64 gives us 89. The square root thereof is the square root of 89. If you want to write it in decimal, you may. That is simply 9,4. 9,4 centimeters. Then the question is to calculate the volume. So the volume is equal to area. For a cone, it's a third area of base times the height of the object. So it's going to be a third. Area of base is pi squared times the depth of the object, which is a third pi. The radius is 5 squared, which is 25 times 8. 8 times 25 is 200 over 3 pi, which is, check here, it's a third times pi times 5 squared times 8. Okay, and precisely it's 209.4. 209.4 meters cubed. Then we look at the surface area. The surface area. How do you work out the surface area of a cone? 5 squared, which is your base. 5 squared plus r. Pi r is, no? Yeah. So it will be safe for you guys to memorize these formulas, not given in the exam. Okay? The pi r squared is going to give you the area of that circle here, which is a circle. The area thereof, so it's pi 5 squared plus pi, your radius is 5, times the slanted height, which is the root of 89. So that's going to give me 25 pi plus 5 root 89 pi. This is in terms of pi now. Then you can plunge it in the calculator. I know the question was to leave it in terms of pi. No? So if you want it, you could have factorized pi here. Then it would have been 25 plus 5 root 89 pi. Close brackets pi. No? So it will be 25 pi plus 5 root 89 Fine. Sorry? So wait 1 sec. Sorry? 2 to 5, okay. 226.6. Is that the answer they got? 0.7 meters. Okay. Look at the next one. D. A right circular cone. Okay, the height is short, but the slanted height is given. Okay, so let's make this H for now. So the depth of the object is what is short. We have 10 there and the slanted height of 50. Okay, so I'm going to calculate H. Pythagoras. So 15 squared is equal to H squared plus 10 squared. So H works out to be 10 squared, 15 squared minus 10 squared is 125, so it's 5 root 5. 5. Or, in decimal, so they give you 11.2. 11.2 centimeters. Okay? Look at the volume. How do you calculate the volume? It's a third area of base times height. The reason why I'm writing this out here is because this is new, the area of a right prism. We have done that in grade 8 and 9. Okay? So it's going to be a third times, let's just do it to remind ourselves all the time. Area of this base is going to be pi of square times the height of this object. So it's going to be a third times pi, the radius is 10 squared times the depth of the object, which is 5 root 5. So that's going to give you 500 root 5 over 3 pi. In decimal, third, just make sure, times pi times 10 squared times 5 root 5. Yeah. So that is 1,170 comma 8. Is that correct? Let's see something. It's 505. Right, good. So let's look at the surface area. The surface area is simply going to be pi squared plus pi radius. No? Sorry? Is that correct? Pi radius. So it's going to be pi times 10 squared plus pi times r, which is 10, times slanted height, which is 5 root 5. There's going to be 100 pi plus 50 root 5 pi. The decimal equivalent of that is going to be 100 pi plus 50 root 5 pi. $665.4. Is that not right? Sorry? Well, the slanted height is 15. Sorry, man. My mistake, the slanted height is 15. So that's going to give you 150 pi, which is 250 pi, which is 785.4. Is that correct? Thank you. Sorry about that. Centimeters squared. Alright. E. cone, the volume is given. Okay? So how do you calculate volume? It's going to be a third area of base times the perpendicular height. So the volume is 800 pi. A third times the area of the base. How do you calculate the area of the base? Pi r squared. Pi r is 10 squared times the depth of the object, which is 24. Okay, so the diameter, if the radius is 10, the diameter is 20. Not so? 20 centimeters. But everything is here. I don't know why they gave you this. I don't even think that gives you. Yes, it does. It's 800. So, working out, using this here is not going to help us with anything. Not so? This is unnecessary information given here. I assume they would have meant to have left this out here. Then you could have worked out the radius and then multiplied it by 2 to get the diameter. Can you see that? Otherwise, I don't understand why would they give you that. That's unnecessary information. Okay? But as I said, they made a mistake. They probably wanted you to have worked out the radius. But it's fine. Let's look at the next one, the surface area. So the surface area is going to be pi r squared, which is the area of base, plus the pi r s. So it's going to be pi, the radius is 10 squared, plus pi times 10 times the slanted height. I need to calculate. That's all. So to work out the slanted height, again there's your right angle triangle. There's S. Your slanted height squared is equal to 10 squared plus 24 squared. Your slanted height works out to be 10 squared plus 24 squared. 676 is 26. Okay? That's going to give you 26. So that addition is going to give you 100 pi plus 260 pi. Is 365, which is 1,130 common. Okay, 1,131 centimeters. Is that correct? Just check what other answers do they give you there at the back of the book, coupled with this. Exercise 16. Point 2. This is 2. To what? 16.2, number 1. E. So they only gave you this answer here. Okay? That's fine. But as I say, man, that I would assume they were the ones that you to have calculated this. So very seldom they give you unnecessary information like that, especially in the textbook. Okay, the sphere. Okay, the question says the radius is 6, the volume. How do you calculate the volume of a sphere? Volume is equal to 4 over 3 pi cubed. Okay, so it's going to be 4 over 3 pi. That's my radius. 6 cubed. 6 cubes 126 divided by 3. It's going to be 36 times 2. 72 times 4. Too big for me. Times 6 cubed. 288. 288 pi. In decimal. Gives us 904,8. Is that correct? 904.8 centimeters cubed. Then you have to work out the surface area. How do you calculate the surface area? It's 4 pi r squared. Okay, so it's 4. What's the radius? 6 squared. It's 36. 36 times 2, 4. 36 times 4 is 144 pi. So set it to decimal. Four, 5, 2, comma. Is that correct? Centimeters squared. Okay. The next one, solid hemisphere. So the hemisphere is half a sphere. So the volume of a sphere is equal to 4/3 pi r cubed. This must be divided by 2 for the hemisphere. There's going to be 2/3 pi, the radius is 6 cubed. Okay? So it's 2/3 pi times 6 cubed. 144 pi. This decimal equivalent is 452,4. You all agree with that? Huh? Yes? Look at the surface area. How do you calculate the surface area? 4 pi squared. Not so. Divided by 2. So it's 2 pi. The radius is 6 squared. 36 is 72 pi. Is that correct? 2 to 6? No? Okay. Yes? Yes. I'm forgetting about that now. Remember that this that we worked out here is only this part of the... Can you see that? It's only that part. Now, when we need to add... And I always forget this pi squared. So it's pi 6 squared. Which is 36. It's 108 pi. Yeah? And what is that I forgot? Forgot to add this space. That's all. I gave you that formula, which was 3 pi squared. And I gave you that formula. Okay, but I forgot. The weekends is not good for maths, for us. No? So we got 339.3 centimeters. Sorry about that. I'm sure I'm going to make the mistake again. I keep on forgetting that. Okay. H. Here they ask you to calculate the radius. So the length from there to there. How do you calculate the volume? The volume is going to be 4/3 pi cubed. Okay? So the volume is 36 pi. 36 pi equals 4/3 pi r cubed. So I first divide by 3/4 pi both sides. Okay, so r cubed works out to be 3648. No? I think. So it's going to be 36 divided by 3/4. 4/3. That's what I'm saying. 4/3. So 36 divided by, will give you 9. times 3 is 27. So r cube is 27. So r is going to work out to be 3. Okay. Then the surface area is going to be 4 pi squared. So it's 4 pi, the radius is 3 squared. It's 9, it's 36 pi. Can you give us 36 pi? Gives us 113, 1. Is that correct? 113, 1 centimeters. The next one I should not now forget in this case. Solid hemisphere. The radius, that is what needs to be calculated. However, the surface area is going to be 4 pi r squared, which is the area of the whole piece divided by 2, plus the area of this one that I forgot in the previous calculation, pi r squared. So it's 3 pi r squared is the surface area, which is 8,000. Okay? So I divide both sides by 3 pi. Okay, so that cancels. So r squared is equal to 8,000 over 3 pi. Square root both sides. Square root of 8,000 over 3 pi gives you 29.1. 0.1 millimeters. We don't want you to work out the volume. The volume is equal to 2 over 3 pi r cubed. So it's going to be 4 over 3 pi times the radius, which is 29.1 cubed. Two over 3. Yes, it's because it's hemisphere. Okay. So you can say 2 over 3 pi 2 over 3 pi times 29.1. Nope. Cubed. That's correct. Huh? Sorry? Not the answer. Write this step again. It's 2 over 3 times pi times 29.1 cubed. That's not the answer. That, okay, they use that rounded off value. Okay. In the exam, we mark on both. Okay. For those of you who use the answer button, and otherwise. So, millimeters. Okay. Now, should do number 2 as well? Yes. Number 2, we are told that the hemisphere of a radius r is placed on top of the cylinder, a radius of r and I3. So what do you notice here? The radius of the cylinder and the radius of the hemispheres are the same. Not so? And the height is there given. Determine the formula, the volume, and secondly the surface area. So in A1, the volume, how do you calculate the volume of this? It's going to be a hemisphere plus a cylinder, the area of a cylinder. How do you calculate the area of a sphere? Sorry, the volume of the sphere. 4 over 3 pi cube. But it's a hemisphere, so I divide by 2. Not so. Plus the area of a cylinder is area of base, which is pi r squared times height. Okay, you all agree with that? So this here can be simplified into 2 over 3 pi cubed plus pi r squared lowercase h, because it's given in lowercase. You guys understand? Secondly, they want you to work out the total surface area. So the surface area is going to again be the shell now, the outer part only. Okay, so when you work out the external surface area is that part, and I'm not going to consider now that circular base inside. Can you see that? So for the shell plus a cylinder, remembering that this top is not going to be considered, which is again that technique. Can you guys see that? So that's going to be, how do you calculate the surface area of a sphere? It's 4 pi r squared. Not so? It's 4 pi r squared divided by 2. I'm not going to add here because I'm not considering that circular base there. Plus, how do you calculate surface area of a cylinder? It's perimeter of the base, which is 2 pi r times height, the depth of the object, plus twice area of base normally. Not so. But I'm just going to work out one area of base. Why? Because I'm not considering that. Okay. So it's going to be 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h plus pi r squared. Okay, and I see like them say, so it's 3 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. Okay, so that's the answer to number 1. Okay. Let's look at number 2, B. The B part of the question says, calculate correct to 1 decimal place the volume and the surface area if R is equal to 2. This is the B part of the sum now. If R is equal to 2, so it's going to be 2 over 3 pi times 2 cubed plus pi times 2 squared times height of 4. So that's going to give us 8, 16, 16 over 3 pi. That is 6 plus 16 pi. Okay. 16 times 3 is 18. 3, 4, 48 plus 16. It's going to give you 48 is going to give you 4. 54. 64. So it will be 64 over 3 pi. I think that's right, let's check. It's 2 over 3 pi times 2 cubed plus pi times 2 squared times 4. over 3 pi. Yes, correct? Which is equivalent to 67, 0. So 67 centimeters. Is that correct? Yes. Right. And then the last one, not the last one, but the B part number 2. And again, B here. So the surface area is going to be 3 pi, your radius is 2 squared plus 2 pi, your radius is 2 and the height of 4. So it's going to give you 12 pi plus 4 is 16 pi, which is 28 pi. So it's 28 pi. Gives you 87, 96, which is 88 centimeters. This was volume, so it's centimeters cubed. Okay. Any confusion here? No? You say I can put one of those in the exam? Okay, nice. You also do number 3? Yes? Number 3, we are told that the volume S of a sphere of a radius r is equal to the volume of h of a hemisphere, the radius r. Express R in terms of R. Okay, so you got in a scenario, you have a sphere and a hemisphere. Okay? The volume of Vs of a sphere of a radius R, So how do you calculate the volume of a sphere? It's going to be 2 over 3 pi R cube. Not so pi capital R, because they either gave us capital R. Is equal to, so the volume of this is equal to the volume of a hemisphere. Okay? But the volume of the hemisphere is equal to 2 over 3, so half of that. Pi, the radius of this is going to be R, so R cubed. Can you see that? But if the volume of a sphere is equal to the volume of the hemisphere, we can conclude now. Therefore, 4 over 3 pi R cubed is equal to 2 over 3 pi R cubed. Can you see that? They want you to express R in terms of capital R, or lowercase r in terms of R. So in other words, we must make lowercase r the subject of the formula. Not so. So how do we do that? We must first get that lowercase r on its own first. Will you agree with that? How do I do that? Divide both sides by 2 over 3 pi. 2 over 3 pi. By doing that, we are left with r cubed is equal to, the 3's cancel, 4 divided by 2 is 2, pi's cancel, r cubed. You all see that? So how do I get r on its own? You cube root both sides. Okay? So that gives you r is equal to the cube root of 2 and r cubed. The cube root of r cubed is going to be. Okay? Is that correct? Yeah. Okay. Do you guys understand? You're right. So for homework is number 4. And then we're going to speak about the K factor. Okay, that we'll speak about tomorrow. People enjoy the rest of the day, so not much homework today. If I'm here, I would re-answer that test. Okay, at the back of your maths books. We'll speak about that test tomorrow. Okay? Enjoy the rest of your day. Good morning, class.